Super Mario 3D Land! Okie dokie!
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Slime Boss here, and oh my god, this has been a long time coming. Welcome to my Let's Play of Super... Ow, I just gave myself a Charlie horse. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Slime Boss here, and welcome to my Let's Play of Super Mario 3D Land. This has been a long time coming for me because ever since I was little, I've always wanted to play 3DS games, like, on recording somehow, and I've never been able to do it, primarily because it is impossible to play 3DS games unless you emulate it. This is not emulated. This is being recorded on real hardware, and I can show you right now. There it is, right there, in all of its full glory. This is a real 3DS that I'm playing this on. I can not just explain to you how excited I am. So, when you start up the game, there is a little bit of a demo for you. As per usual, we're going to be covering everything in this series. On the bottom screen there, you can see that there is, controls and whatnot. This is also me just kind of troubleshooting it. I can also turn on the 3D. You guys won't be able to tell the difference, but I can. And it just shows that, the Toad up there is actually not, where you think he is. He's actually there. So we're going to go ahead and start the game. I did this little test file just to see if everything was running properly. So we're going to go ahead and erase that file. I don't have my original file, unfortunately. That is not on this 3DS. But I think this is good enough. Yeah, I'm just go ahead and let you watch this. Alright, yeah, so back to the 3D thing. I can see the differences on my 3DS here because I'm going to be literally looking down at the 3DS to play the game, because there is a little bit of lag on OBS here. But yeah, let's just hop into it, or as Mario says, let's-a play, or let's-a go. So yeah, controls are pretty much standard for most 3D Mario game. However, this game has a dedicated run button with multiple... you don't actually have multiple tiers to your running like you do in 3D World. I thought you did, but you don't. We have long jumps. We also have, if you're running, you can also roll somehow. Okay, it's a little cumbersome, but you gotta claw it. Press X and you can roll, and you can do a rolling long jump as well. Yeah, and then this is obviously a lot better than like something like Super Mario 64 DS, which we have played in the past, where the I was using an analog stick because I was on Wii U, but it's a little bit more challenging because Alright, it's a little bit more challenging on there because it wasn't built for it, right? It was built for like a D-pad, but the D-pad in this game turns the camera. We can also take a look at the bottom screen there, which only provides just extra additional bits of information. Soon enough, we'll see, like just like in New Super Mario Bros. DS, which a game I will cover at a later date, that they have an item storage down there, and I would like to say that it pretty much originates from there. You can choose to play this game in 3D if you want. It was definitely built for it. It's one of those few games where you kind of need the 3D in order to play it. Not in all cases, but sometimes you might want it. Again, that might be an accessibility thing where it's like, it's technically still playable in 2D, and otherwise it would not be possible to play on like something like a 2DS or something, or even future-proofing it where like maybe it comes to the Switch 2 or something like that, and it's like completely unplayable, right? So there's another thing that I wanted to talk about with the 3D, because in this game, unlike many others, this game has almost like a diorama sort of thing where you can either choose to have things protrude or intrude in the game, and then the 3DS kind of has to find your eyes and adjust. I think mine might not be really calibrated, but that's okay because I'm not going to be using the 3D a whole lot, but you might want to. So, in order to 100% this game, you need to, of course, you need to obtain all 3 star coins, as well as get the top of the flagpole on every stage. Now, that is all that the game is communicating to you for now. There is a little bit more that we have to do, but for the sake of this video, that's really all we have to do. As per usual, I will be doing everything, obviously. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, videos format, right. The video format will be very simple. We are going to be playing every world, 1 per video. There is, for the sake of, again, this video, there is 8 worlds for us to check out, and maybe even more, as per usual with a Mario game, right? But this one is special, so, I mean, and it's kind of, even though it's not the best 3D Mario game, it's definitely one that has a place in my heart when it comes to like the Mario series. Now, something that I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be doing something known as an infinite lives trick. I'm going to step away from the game for a little bit, because just like in this game, just like in Mario 1 and in Super Mario 3D World as well, a very, very simple infinite lives trick can be done right here. Very, very simple setup. All you gotta do is stand in front of the Koopa, jump on top of them, and make sure that you go a little bit forward so you're more in the middle between the block and the Koopa and the wall behind you. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just speed this up until we're absolutely complete. Unfortunately, there is a limited amount of time in the stage. Actually, no, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this time to talk about a little bit more. This is the first 3D Mario game that's sort of linear. I know that the Galaxy game started to trend in that direction, but in this game, it started to become more apparent that this is just the 2D Mario games in a 3D setting, which is very creative for the time, but unfortunately that's not what people were looking for. But Nintendo does take a lot of cues from this game in order to make 3D World, which is a very good game, and continuing on into Odyssey. There's another reason why I'm going to be playing this game this year, because there potentially might be a new 3D Mario game coming out this year. That's going to be a lot of fun to check out and see how they evolve the formula once again. There's also the element of 3D World's expansion of Bowser's Fury, where Bowser's Fury is sort of like a tech demo for what could be the future of 3D Mario, combining the both linearity and open worldness of both, and giving us a completely unique experience. And honestly, I don't even care if they give us just a completely expanded version of Bowser's Fury. I wouldn't mind that. Like a full $60 game that is Bowser's Fury, basically. But if they take that and expand it even more, that's just going to be even better, right? So we'll see what they do. Anyways, this is another thing that is part of completion, unfortunately. There are 2 elements that I need to discuss here. The first element here is that you must obtain crown lives, which is approximately 1,110 lives, I believe. And I don't know why you have to do this, but it's part of completion. I couldn't tell you why, but it's one of the things that you have to do. So doing this early on is going to help us out immensely. And on top of that, there are 2 more caveats to this completion factor, which is why we're doing this so early. One, if you get a game over, unfortunately you miss out on, I believe, a shiny star rank on your profile. So do not get a game over. And also, purely, I can't remember on the top of my head if it's purely just seeing the invincibility Tanuki suit, or by hitting it that unfortunately you miss out on completion as well. So we'll try not to let that happen. I know there's some levels that are a little bit more difficult for me that I have to watch out for, just so I don't have that elusive power up here for me. But it starts appearing after like 5 or 6 deaths, 5 to 10 deaths, I can't remember exactly. So hopefully that should be a non-issue for us. While we're on the topic as well, you have noticed that this game has power-ups, like traditional 2D Mario power-ups. Is something that is entirely different from the other games in the franchise. The first of which here is the Tanuki suit. This is the secret power-up from Mario Bros. 3. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the same effects that it did back in the day, but you might be confusing the Tanuki suit with the Raccoon suit. The Raccoon suit is the one where Mario just has ears and a tail from Mario 3. That's the more traditional one. This is, again, the Tanuki suit. The Raccoon suit that I had mentioned before is in New Super Mario Bros. 2 and made its re-debut there, whereas this one just focuses on the tail suit or the raccoon suit. Again, the raccoon suit also enables you the ability to fly with P-Speed. None of that is here. This is purely just a way to make platforming easier by being able to flutter and things along those lines. The super version of it, the white Tanuki suit, is pretty much the same thing, but you're invincible, and it's basically just a like Luigi mode in the other 2D games, or Super Donkey Kong mode in the Donkey Kong Country game. Similar to that, it's just an additional help for babies that need it, which makes sense. That is something that Nintendo patented back in the day, if you didn't know that, is this sort of helper mode. And no other games really have done that, and even since, really. So yeah, we're about to run out of time here. This also allows us to see what happens when you do effectively run out of time. This enables me to talk about that. Yes, this game has checkpoints. Because this game is a little bit more linear, you're able to activate checkpoints. Because this game is a more traditional take on 3D Mario, I just completely messed that up. That's okay. Since this game is a little more traditional take on 3D Mario, you also have your baby form, which isn't often seen in this game because you respawn as Big Mario. You don't respawn as Baby Mario. You just can get down to that stage. In which case, in order to heal it, you would need a mushroom, just like you would normally. I am completely not facing straight right now. God damn it. Technically, you can try this up against this question mark block, but I'm not as good with it. No, you actually can't. But now you can see what happens when you become small. You actually lose your hat in this game. So yeah, so this doesn't have the traditional live system that, you know, you might see, or like power-up system that you might see in like the Galaxy games, for example. But Mario just does what he does in the 2D games, basically. as you just heard, there was a special one-up jingle for reaching the first crown. Alright, well, if we go ahead and touch this, we can now have access to the Superstar, which is an iconic Mario item as well. I just died. That also makes you invincible. But yeah, that's pretty much the infinite lives trick. Something else that I must mention while we're here, that, you know, destroys those as well. Up here is a very interesting secret. I can't seem to do it for some reason. Going up here, first of all, you can actually go this way, which I'm not really remembering what's over here. Well, the entire level is... Oh, yeah, there you go. Here's a one-up. There's lots of little secrets like that are hidden in, like, nooks and crannies that requires you to kind of read the level. Going over here, I really hope it doesn't... Is it gonna lock? No, okay, there's the camera angle change. There is something that I don't want to take, but just like in the original 2D Mario, there is a warp zone here. I currently don't know where they are, so in the middle of our session, we are not going to be, like, sort of explaining where they all are, but know that there's one here, and it sends you to world 4 or 5. But I'll explain where all those are and where the locations are in a bonus video. So, anyway, there's something else that you probably noticed. I was doing, like, long jumps and crazy acrobatics and stuff. There's actually a backflip in the game as well, but for some reason you have to charge it. Couldn't tell you why. But yeah, it's a thing. And top of the flagpole, son. The way that you will know if you actually got the top of the flagpole is by it glowing gold. Alright. Alright, so we have yet another feature to talk about here. We're barely on, you know, level 2. Welcome to the mystery box. Clear the room and get the item before time runs out. You might even find a star coin. The clock is ticking. So these are minigame rooms. You simply have 10 seconds to destroy whatever you're needing to destroy. And yeah, there's around one per world. Did you get the star medal? Mystery boxes will be sent to your Mii and other players from now on if they're using Street Pass. You might also receive new mystery boxes from them through Street Pass. Try it for now. See you in the next mystery box. So this is interesting because this is a Street Pass feature. Street Pass is still technically a thing that exists. You go around, and if there's any other people that have a 3DS, which isn't very likely, that's why it's sleeping right now, because it hasn't found anybody yet, and you should be able to do a mini game similar to what we just saw there, and it will net you a star coin still, which means you can technically have more star coins than is actually needed for the game. The requirement, I don't know what the requirement is to beat the game, but you don't actually need, I don't know where I'm going with this. You don't actually need every star coin. Well, you need every star coin in the game, but there's enough star coins to go around, basically. So we have the Fire Flower. This is not the first time that it's actually debuted in a 3D game. Actually, I'm wrong about that. It was actually in Mario Galaxy, but in that game it was timed, and a lot of power-ups in 3D Mario games are timed, right? Like Mario 64 even too. This also shows that that mystery boxes can also be found in can be found in levels. Sorry, kind of hard to play and talk at the same time. We also just went through a bit of a motion-controlled or gyro thing, which shows that the 3DS actually has gyro in it compared to the DS, which we last saw. Looking around here, you can see that we can zoom in or zoom out. We zoomed into Toad there. If I remember correctly, there is a secret on this level, but I think I'm going to save that for the bonus video. If you know, you know. But yeah, so you're starting to notice how like the level design is starting to be like very reminiscent of like 3D World if you played that game before. That's probably the more popular of the duology, if you will. You can start seeing 3D World isms here. It all started with this game. This is really one of those comfort games that the reason why I'm playing it right now is because it's really easy to play. It's really quick, it's really short. It's a game that I can get done in a couple of days, if not a few hours. And I can 100% it really easily as well. Again, there are a lot of 3D World isms in here, so if you're a fan of that game. However, there is a lot more 3D land isms than there are 3D World isms that you'll start to notice because, again, this game had a very sort of, again, the mindset was, okay, how do we sell people on this 3D thing? And so the level design were kind of simplified to that, due to that fact, and very focused on kind of creatively engineering them so that, you know, you're able to solve creative 3D puzzles, quote unquote, right? This is our first instance of using the star coins as currency. We currently have 10, and we used 3 of them, which means that at the bare minimum, you should have found 3 up until this point. You don't lose the star coins, so this is why you, like, technically don't even need the Street Pass feature. It's like, it just doesn't, it's not even really needed. So as you can see here, like, this is like a very non-traditional, you know, setup here. Or like, you know, perspective, right? And so that's kind of what they wanted to go for. Just to sort of creatively engineer levels with different perspectives. But enough so that you can still sort of see and like, you know, again, it has to be simplified enough for like a baby to understand. It's also part of the reason why they did bring back the Tanuki suit is because it makes 3D platforming so much better. It also, if you're a pro player, makes speedrunning absolutely incredible. I personally am not one of these, but yeah, like, I mean, like, I would 3D Land is probably like the closest thing that I could ever get to a game that I could potentially speedrun and maybe even make it on the list. But unfortunately, as of recently, there's been a lot more 3D Land speedrunners out there. And now that I have a capture card, maybe it's something that I could try. I don't know, but it's still something that always fascinated me because this game is just, it's not Mario Odyssey by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels really good to play. If you ever played this game before, like this is, it feels really good, and it kind of made me mad when 3D World came out because that game is noticeably a little bit more stiff compared to this game. Oh. No? Bro. There we go. Yeah, 3D World is definitely a little bit more stiff compared to this game. Not as free, I must say, which is weird because the game, itself with like camera angles and platforming is a lot more stiff in that way, whereas the platforming just feels so free. I don't know, but we made it to the end of this level. As you can see, the gameplay loop is pretty self-explanatory. I know I basically went over all of it, but like, it's just a fun little game. It's a fun little romp. I love this game a lot, even though it's not, it's not my favorite 3D Mario game. That has to go to Galaxy 2, but like, it's something that I can just pick up and play all the time, and I really hope that, because this is the 40th anniversary of Mario, and I'm not doing another like Mario-a-thon this year, but I may end up doing so anyway. Welcome to the Toad House. Here's a present for you. I wonder what's inside. But yeah, as I say, it's not the greatest, but it's charming. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's one of those games in the sterile Mario era. But that's okay because I don't know. It's just I love this game a lot. I don't know. And like I said, it's super simple too, which means you can just kind of go crazy with it on tech and stuff. Look at this. Like no other Mario game does this. Like, you can literally explore outside of the Toad House. I don't know why you would, but you can. Like, it's cool. Like, and then you look at this inside of the Toad House, and you're like, okay, this screams 3D World or New Super Mario Bros. 2, or New Super Mario Bros. In general. So there's a lot of it's weird. Like 3D World or 3D Land is very like Mario Galaxy 2, New Super Mario Bros. And Wii and DS, and a lot of Mario 3 influence as well. So it's like a weird hodgepodge. Oh yeah, what was I saying about 3D Mario? Mario's 40th. Oh, yeah, so this is actually the first time that we're seeing it. When we have Infinite Lives, or Crown Lives, Mario loses his hat. When you're a baby in this game, you don't have a hat. But when you have Crown, you lose your hat as an adult. And as a baby, you actually gain your hat back, and so people haven't seen it, but there is Baby Mario with a hat in this game. And even like the New Super Mario Bros. Games have that. I believe you lose your hat if you get Infinite Lives as well in New Super Mario Bros. But I can't really remember right now. Now I will say, get used to seeing this level. I don't remember if the older Mario games did this a whole lot, but this game in particular just, oh my god, like, it just absolutely loves to reuse levels for some reason, and I couldn't tell you why. And this is just one of those levels. I really don't know why. This is meant to show you, yeah, there's the gold here, and who are we saving? Oh, we gotta save the Toad, right? So it's weird because it loves to reuse levels, and then it has you like replay levels sometimes, like just straight up, and it's just like, why? So there's some weird decisions of padding, but I think it's fine. One thing though that I really do love about this game is that obviously this boss battle is super simple, right? Like, there's not a whole lot going on here. First of all, I can actually go over here and completely skip it. Do not push the button when Bowser's not on screen, because you will soft lock your game. Don't do it. So I just completely skipped that level. But watch this. Watch as Bowser dies here. He turned into a Goomba with a Tanuki suit. Is that weird? So this is actually, a straight up 3D interpretation of the original Mario Brothers boss battles against Bowser at the end of each world. It is a straight up 3D replication of that. In those original games, you go to the end and you hit the axe, and Bowser falls and the bridge collapses. Same thing's happening here, except it's a button. Not to mention that if you use the fireball in the original game, Bowser, the only real Bowser is the Bowser at the end of 8-4. All the other Bowsers are different underlings that Bowser has, taking on Bowser's form. So this is a literal callback to that. Also, another thing that's interesting that I really love about this game is that Mario games, this game really hones in the platforming aspects of Mario game, and that is another reason why I love Bowser's Fury so much, is that it does double down on the platforming aspect, because Mario Odyssey more so doubles down on the exploration, and you're, finding moons everywhere, but then people would complain like, oh yeah, there's just, gimme moons everywhere. And it's like, well, yeah, because that's what a collectathon is. You're collecting things everywhere, right? It's just it's exploration, right? At the end of the day. Well, this game really hones in that platforming, and it gives you straight up boss battles that are just platforming challenges, and that's what's awesome about this game. Again, very, very simple, right? Very, very simple platforming challenges, but that's the boss. The whole boss is the platforming challenge, and I find that really, really fun, and very different for the Mario series too. So yeah, well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Super Mario 3D Land. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And next time, we're going to be taking on World 2. See you guys then. Bye.